Hello and welcome to this weekend edition of the Daily Dose of Greek. And today we're going to talk about another Greek resource. Sometimes I will have a pastor or a student come to me and they'll say, Dr. Plummer, I like the New Testament. I feel like I'm pretty good at Koine Greek. I can read the Septuagint some. I know Greek from 300 BC to 300 AD. I know Koine Greek, but I want to go back. I want to learn a little more classical Greek. I want to know how it's different from the New Testament Greek. Maybe want to read some classical Greek authors. What path can you give for me? And so what I have traditionally recommended is a grammar by a guy named Stephen Payne. It's an Oxford University Press publication from 1961. It's entitled Beginning Greek, a Functional Approach. Right, Beginning Greek, a Functional Approach. And in this grammar you have translation from the New Testament, but you also have translation from Xenophon. So I've always thought, well, that's a really a unique little book, right, holding those together, that I've been happy to recommend. Although I think you can only get used copies of it now. At least I didn't see new copies available when I looked online. But now a similar, updated idea, right? I don't know how you say this gentleman's last name, Michael Bowler. I'm not sure. Michael Bowler says he's an associate professor of classics at the University of St. Thomas in Houston, right? And the title of the book tells it all. Introduction to Classical and New Testament Greek. Introduction to Classical and New Testament Greek, a unified approach. So it has some great endorsements. I have not worked through the entire thing, but I love the idea. I love the idea because I know there's a need for it. Not a huge need, but there's a need for someone, especially in my setting, someone who has familiarity with the New Testament a little bit, and they're wanting to edge back chronologically further back into the history of Greek. I'm glad now that there's a new publication, which obviously is attempting the same thing that Payne's Oxford University Press grammar did. Here's one that's in current print, and that is highly acclaimed by Greek scholars. So just to make you aware of that, among the 5% of you that have an interest in easing back into classical Greek, you could look at both of those and see which one seems to fit you better. Again, the new work that we're talking about is entitled The Introduction to Classical and New Testament Greek, a Unified Approach by Michael Bowler. And then the one from 1961 that I mentioned is entitled Beginning Greek, a Functional Approach by Stephen Payne.